Hey guys, it's Hannah. So I didn't actually want to film this on a camera because it's long, so I'm just filming it on my laptop. And this is kind of late because the 1975 concert was in November, like late November, and now it's like January. But I figured I would make this. I'm not gonna edit it or anything because it's kind of useless. But so I just wanted to tell you my horrible experience at the 1975 concert in Dallas, Texas. Okay, so first off, we got there so I spent the night at my friend's house. The people that went, it was me, my two friends, and then one of my friend's two sisters. And so we went and we stayed the night at her house, and we wanted to get there really early because it's a general admission concert, so you don't have like seating or anything. It's just the earlier you come, probably the closer you're gonna get. So we went and we got there at about like 5 a.m. Yeah, 5 a.m. And so there was this line right by the venue, and this was at Southside Ballroom in Dallas. And there was just a there was a line of people like right beside it, like yeah. And then if you weren't right beside it, you had to like go across the street because you couldn't be in the street. You had to like go across the street and like sit in the grass over there. And so we were early enough to be like there, and but there were people waiting there for like ever because Hoodie Allen, his concert was right before the 1975 concert, and so there were people already waiting there because my friend went to the Hoodie Allen concert, and there were people already waiting for the 1975. But so we got there at 5 a.m. There were about 10 groups in front of us with about 3 people, and yeah, so got there about at 5 a.m. It was freezing cold, and we didn't know it was going to be that cold. So it was like 30 degrees, and we'd only brought like 3 blankets. And so it was freezing cold. And my dad had to like drive all the way to Dallas, like South Dallas. Okay, if, if you don't live near Dallas, you won't know this, but South Dallas is really scary. Like there's like a lot of gangs and drug violence, and it's just a scary place to be in. And we were there like in the dark, and like there's a lot of homeless people there, like dangerous homeless people. And like the security guard was like, you couldn't, it was dark outside, so he wouldn't be able to see. And he said if a homeless guy comes up to you, yell, like don't talk to him. It was kind of scary. Security guard seemed a little sketchy, but whatever. Um, but so we got there at 5 a.m. like I said, waited that entire day. My dad eventually brought us like 10 blankets because of how cold we were. And so that. And so we were all just kind of like laying down trying to sleep, but it was so cold that we just like couldn't. And we also had like snacks, but it was like crappy snacks, like oats and like organic stuff. I don't know, just really bad stuff. So we kind of just ate on those and everything. But then if you wanted to go to the bathroom, there was this hotel called oh my God, I really want to remember this because the people at that hotel were the nicest people ever. I think it's the Nilo Hotel. It's right by the venue, like literally right beside it. But they were honestly the nicest people ever. Like they were letting everyone use the bathrooms. It's a really nice and expensive hotel. Like apparently a lot of famous people stay there if they're like in Dallas or something. But so we went over there and we went to the bathroom, and we didn't know if we would get in trouble for staying or not. So we just walked back, like, and we just sat there for a while. And then we kind of just stayed there. And then we went to the girl who drove us, which was one of her sisters. She drove us, and we just went into her car and charged our phones, and it was like really warm and everything. And yeah, but then at around 10, we we kind of we had already gone to like 7-Eleven and stuff and got like food and stuff. So at around 10, me and my two other friends, we went to the hotel and we kind of just sat there because it was really warm in there. And we were there for about 2 hours. No one said anything to us, which was the coolest thing ever. There was a girl working at the bar, which the bar is in like the lobby, and she didn't say anything to us. It was really cool. There were like, if you go to the back, there's like chairs and like a pool table and books. There was nobody there. We were the only three people there. And then there was like a TV and everything. So we weren't talking loud at all or anything. We just sat back there and they didn't say a single thing to us, which was the coolest thing ever. And yeah, that was really cool. But so then we eventually, like 2 hours later, we just went back because it had warmed up a little bit. It was maybe like at 60 now, so it wasn't that cold anymore. And then, so we sat there for a little bit longer, and then this is where it gets annoying. Okay, so the security guards at Southside were the rudest people ever. Oh my god, they made me so angry. But they kept telling us that Maddie would come outside at like 4:30 or something, and then the opening acts kept coming out. But one at like I think the drummer was literally, it was Young Rising Suns. The drummer was dressed exactly like Maddie, and he looked like Maddie, like same haircut, same style. And so all of us were freaking out. And then they were like, "It's not Maddie. It's not Maddie." And we were like, "I think it's Maddie," but it wasn't Maddie. So we just kept sitting down, and then everyone kept freaking out that like Maddie was outside. George did come outside once, and we saw him like go into the building. It was crazy. But so that was stressful. But I'm just gonna kind of like skip to about 4:30. So at about 4:30, we had to put all of our stuff away because we were gonna start lining up. But here's the thing, they didn't let us in until 7:30 for the concert, so we had to stand for 3 hours just standing there doing nothing else. And so that was extremely annoying. That pissed me off so much. And so when this happened, we were in the front and people started cutting. And then there was this group of people who like they were just sitting there. I'm not just sitting there. They like walked up to people at the front and they gave someone $60 so they could stand with them. But they got in trouble and they had to go all the way to the back of the line. And so, but then, so we stood there and then, yeah, and then we started getting pushed at around 5:30. Like we started getting pushed really hard, and everyone was complaining about how they were getting cut and everything, and like, "Oh, I've been here since 7 a.m." and they were cutting us and they were complaining about getting cut. Like, bitch, no, get behind me. And people were just insane. People, I know 2 people got kicked out for snorting cocaine, and a lot of people got kicked out for smoking weed and all that kind of stuff. And so we were lining up, and when they started letting people in, we were getting pushed, and I dropped my phone and it shattered. Literally, like, shattered, like glass was falling out. And so I didn't get a new phone because I can't, no. So I got the screen replaced, and this is like a different story, but I got the screen replaced, but they didn't have a white one, and I have a white phone. And so I had to get a black screen, and then the white button just stays on. I guess you just can't take that off. And then apparently I had dropped it on my side too many times, so they put this like ratchet, like whatever this is, they like screwed it into my phone. I don't know, but there's that story. And so then we oh my god. So then we started getting pushed, and there were these railings like to separate lines, And when we got pushed, like we were trying to grab on to each other so we wouldn't get like separated because it was really easy to get separated. But when we were getting pushed, I got pushed into the railing and like hit my hip, and I got a terrible, like, oh my god, huge bruise there. And so that sucked. And then we got pushed into the venue. They were yelling at us not to run into the thing while everyone else was running and all that. And so we finally got into the crowd, and let me just say, if you were at the 1975 Dallas concert and you got in the crowd, God bless you, because I know how horrible that was. And so when we got into the crowd, we were maybe like fifth row, which was total bullshit because we would have definitely been second row, but they somehow were letting people in earlier than other people. Don't ask me. And so we like got in and all that was happening, and we got into the crowd. We stood there. Oh my god, I don't like talking about it, but there were girls in front of us like popping acid, and okay, yeah, they were like, ugh. But so that happened, and then the girls behind us were like total bitches, like they were just rude. And then, yeah, so it was so terrible. We were literally like packed so tight together. It was the worst feeling in the entire world. I started having a panic attack because I'm not claustrophobic, but being that close to someone, you couldn't move. You couldn't move your arms. You couldn't move anything. So me and my friend, I was like praying that one of my friends would be like, can we like get out of the crowd? And one of my friends did. And so we got out of the crowd. It was so horrible. It was mostly the guys. They were total douchebags, like the rudest people. They would not move whatsoever. But then I remember like a couple of girls were like yelling at people to like get out of the way so we could get out. And I just like, those were the nicest girls ever. Like they were literally yelling to like get out of the way and pushing people, and we were pushing people like. And then we finally got out, and I started crying because I was so happy that we had gotten out, and my three other friends were still in the crowd. And eventually one of the girls came out, and then the other two girls came out, and so we all got out. And then one of the girls went back into the crowd like during the opening acts. And so yeah, and then we came out, and we had to go to the very back, and I was so tired. Like my back hurt. I didn't feel good because we hadn't ate, we hadn't done anything. And so I was like sitting on the ground, and like people were kicking me because it was really dark in there and all that. And it sucked. Like people thought I was high because I was like sleeping, and it was freezing cold back there because the crowd gets so hot. And so it sucked, needless to say. But then we kept like going back and in like the crowd and out of the crowd and all that. And so, yeah, but I guess the crowd kind of stirred down once the 1975 started. But once the 1975 started, it was all good, and it was fine, and it was a good concert. But needless to say, it sucked. I woke up the next morning and I had bruises everywhere. If I can find the pictures, I'll put them somewhere. But that's my story about the 1975 concert. This was very long. Sorry about that. 14 minutes. But that's it. So I will see you guys later. And yeah.